It's really easy to sew a padded bag handle, and I especially love making them for bags that are going to carry a bit of weight.
Do you want to come sew one with me?
I've got 125 centimeters by 6 centimeters cotton canvas for the bottom of my strap. That'll give it some strength and structure. Then I've got quilting cotton for the top. It's a directional pattern, so I've got that side in two parts with a seam allowance added onto the middle ends. Then I've cut two pieces of quilt batting, just a little bit wider than the fabric, and they're both about 80 centimeters long. I think this wadding was some leftover 4-ounce polyester. I'm just going to join my cotton pieces with a quick straight stitch in the middle, so I'll have one long strip that'll match my canvas piece. And this way I can keep the rabbits both facing the right way up on both sides of the bag strap. I like to just finger press that seam open after and it'll lay flatter, so there'll be less bulk there at the shoulder seam. And then I'm going to line up all the layers. I've got one piece of the batting first, and then the canvas facing up and the cotton facing down, so the right sides of the fabric face each other. Do you see how I've left a couple of centimeters of the cotton and canvas overlapping the end of the batting? I'll be using that later. These layers tend to want to shift around, so plenty of clips really help it stay in place. I'm leaving the middle end of this batting for now and then starting on the other piece of wadding at the other end of the cotton and canvas. Then I'm going to flip it all over so I've got the fabric side on the table, and I'm going to take those two middle ends of the batting and I'm just going to overlap them. So there should be about 20 centimeters overlapping from each end. This way, the most padded area will be over the shoulder, and there'll be no uncomfortable, bulky or gapping seams happening in the middle.
Let's go sew.
I've got a walking foot on my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew from the start of the batting right up the long side. I'm adding a little forward and back stitch at the start, and that'll secure the thread ends in place so it won't come apart when I come to turn it. I'm sewing a regular straight stitch, but I've increased my stitch length a bit, and that'll help me move more easily through the thick layers. At that middle cotton seam, I'm just smoothing out the fabric to make sure it stays nice and flat as I go through over it, and then I'll have a neater looking finish there. I'm just trying to keep my stitching slow and steady, feeding it through gently, and that'll help keep it all together. At the end of the batting, I'm just going to stitch a few stitches forward and back again just to secure it all in place.
And then we just do that again on the other side.
So you should have a couple of centimeters of fabric overhanging the batting at this end too. I like using a walking foot for doing this because it feeds the fabric through from the top at the same time as the feed dogs move it through from underneath. That way it helps to keep all the layers lined up and moving at the same speed, and then they'll be less prone to shifting out of position or getting distorted. If you don't have a walking foot, a thick fabric foot can work okay here too. Again, I've just been careful of that middle seam on the way back, making sure it lays completely flat. Although I've got some quilting cotton here, I am using polyester thread for this. That way I can match the thread strength to the polycotton canvas and the polyester batting, so I'm less likely to get thread breakage as I sew, and I'll get a stronger stitch strength at the end. Now that's done, I'm going to trim down all that extra batting around the seams. It doesn't fray, so I can get it in nice and close, and I'm just being careful not to snip the fabric, only the batting. I find it helps to have my fabric facing down, and then I can angle my scissors slightly and get in closer to that batting layer. This will take out the excess bulk in the seams, so once I turn it, I'll have a nice uniform thickness right across the strap, rather than having it bunching in at the edges.
Now we need to turn it the other way round.
It does take a bit of patience to turn a really long, bulky strap like this. I like to use long-nosed pliers to grab the fabric inside and gently bring it through, and then push it out again the other way. The batting adds extra bulk, so I find it's best just to grab a small part at a time and ease it through gradually. If you haven't got long-nosed pliers, you might find a tube turning tool or even a chopstick can help with this. Once it's all pretty much out, I'm going to sort out the ends. Remember how I left a bit of fabric flapping around before the batting? This is where that comes in useful. I'm going to leave those bits inside the strap and then neaten off the edge so it folds into a straight line here. Then all those raw edges are tucked up inside and out of sight. A quick press with a hot iron after really helps it take shape better, and that makes the next step much easier too. At the ends, I find it helps to press both fabrics separately as well as all the layers together to get a really crisp finish. I'm going to top stitch all the way down the side of the strap. I like to start in the middle on a bit of pattern that isn't so noticeable, and that way when I stitch forward and backward a couple of times to anchor the stitches, you won't really notice it's there. Usually I'd sew a top stitch closer to the edge of the fabric, but with the extra bulk here, I think that it looks better and holds its shape better when I stitch a line a little bit further in. So in this case, I'm just using the edge of my walking foot a bit like a stitch guide. If you need to add even more strength to your bag strap, you might want to add an extra line or two of stitching in the middle, or you could even do a crisscrossing or quilting pattern inside the top stitching too. When I get to the end, I'm just stopping at the corner with my needle down, pivoting the fabric and then sewing along that bottom edge. That will seal in those raw edges, and then I'm pivoting the fabric back to be able to come back up again. I've used two different fabric types for my bag strap, and that adds more strength without adding so much bulk. And I've done the same with the rest of the bag too. But if you wanted to make a strap with lighter cotton on both sides, then adding some iron-on interfacing or using some foam instead of batting can help give it a similar, stronger structure. At the other end, I'm just going to pivot that fabric around again so I can get lovely sharp corners on those turns before I catch back up again to where I started. Now all I need to do is to fix it to my bag. I'm stitching out a square at the bottom of the strap. I like to spread out the force where a heavy load can pull at the fabric, so I'm stitching it to the outside of the side seam after I finish the rest of the bag. See how the stitching goes through both the outer and the lining fabric so it can spread its weight even more between the fabrics. Then I'm adding a cross right through the centre to reinforce it even more. I'm using a thick fabric foot for this, and it lets me bump up and down over the thick seams nice and easily. If you don't have one and your machine's struggling, you could use a bit of cardboard up against the strap edge, and that will level out the foot when you're getting close to the edges.
Let's take another look at that.
By fixing the strap to the outside seam, I haven't got any of the bag weights pulling at the top seam, which could pull it out of shape over time. Depending on the fabrics you've used, you might find a stronger needle helps for being able to sew this part. Can you see how I'm leaving that needle down and swiveling every time I want to change direction? That leaves me with a lovely crisp corner. There, and then it's done. All finished and ready to load up. What do you think?
And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to pop back for more and I'll bring you more sewing fun soon. Bye now.